Thank you, Mr. Scholz. Next, we have Klaus Buchner for 1.5 minutes for the Greens. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. The free trade agreement between Japan and the European Union is a step further away from democracy towards the dictatorship of corporations. Trade with Japan is of course important, but this agreement is an agreement that exceeds the area of trade by far. It actually impinges upon our democratic basic rights. Locally, this means of course municipal policy, the whole question of hospitals, schools, regional transport, all of that will be liberalised as a consequence. So in other words, they should be privatised to whatever extent possible. Local citizens are not supposed to be in control of these services anymore. We're talking about privatised companies, and once you've privatised them, they will be privatised forever. It means that citizens will no longer be in control of these services. Our governments will no longer have the right to adopt legislation of a social and environmental nature that they would like. Legislation should not pose any kind of substantial obstacle to trade or to investment. That is what the agreement says. A particularly important case in point is the ban on gene technology. The EU Commission has actually omitted to safeguard that particular area. It would have been possible, but the Commission clearly wanted to introduce genetic engineering in our midst. So this Japan-EU free trade agreement also introduces rules that are supposed to prevent a crisis, but we don't need a free trade agreement in order to have fair trade rules. The principles of our GDPR, these principles were already taken on board by Japan before the Japan-EU FTA.